Trump wants peace. Ukrainians fear what that might look like. I have no plans for the future at all, says Alexander Bejan, standing next to an empty, frozen paddock where he used to work as a fisherman on the bank of the Dnipro River in southern Ukraine. If I wake up in the morning, that's already pretty good. Malokaterynivka sits just 15 kilometers 9 miles north of the front line in Ukraine's Zaporizhzhia region. If US President Donald Trump succeeds in halting the war, Malokaterynivka is hoping to end up on the right side of that front line. I last visited this area in 2023, when Ukraine launched a much-anticipated counteroffensive. At the time, Ukrainians dared to dream of winning this war. They had, after all, won the Battle of Kyiv and liberated swathes of territory elsewhere, but 18 months on, thunder-like artillery exchanges reflect the failure of that operation and Russia's dominance. The front line here is broadly in the same place, but the broad expanse of river has gone. When the Russian-occupied Kakhovka Dam downstream was destroyed, this became a vast, uninterrupted expanse of scrubland. The barren surroundings reflect the frozen limbo in which Ukraine finds itself. The White House wants to end the war, but it's not as simple as blowing a full-time whistle. If the front line becomes a border, it would be scary. Fighting could break out at any moment, explains Alexander. The exposed riverbed separates our location from Russian-occupied territory. Distant sunlight bounces off the metallic Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Moscow's grip since 2022. Ukraine and the US both want peace, but that is where the consensus seems to end. Washington's vision of it, along with battlefield realities, means Russia will probably keep hold of the Ukrainian land it seized. Ukraine wants meaningful security guarantees that would prevent invading forces from pushing across the river. Instead, Trump has denied Kiev's dream of joining the NATO alliance as he focuses on Russia. Having watched and reported on Ukraine's fight for more than 3 years, it is an especially tough hand for the country to receive. There are feelings of betrayal. Commentators criticize either Ukrainian President Zelensky or the new foreign policy of its biggest ally. The border wouldn't depend on us, says Alexander. It probably won't work out, but Seoul is 30 kilometers from North Korea, and they somehow live and prosper. Malokaterynivka's challenge of finding a new purpose lies at the heart of Ukraine's future. And while politicians talk about talks, Ukrainians continue to fight and die. Villagers gather for the funeral of a local soldier also named Alexander. Half of the graves in the cemetery are freshly dug. The ceremony cannot last more than 25 minutes because of the threat of artillery. Mourners flinch and duck for cover when his comrades fire off a gun salute. I don't have hope for a ceasefire, says his widow Natalia, who nevertheless wants to be proved wrong. They just keep sending more and more of our boys to the front, if only they could find some way to end it. Alongside the river is a disused rail line surrounded by barbed wire. It's to stop Russian agents from sabotaging the track, explains Lyudmila Volek, who has lived in Malokaterynivka her whole life. Trains used to run all the way to Crimea in the south. We hope that one day it will be restored, says the 65-year-old, optimistically, and that one day will go to our Crimea. The peninsula's 11 years of Russian occupation makes it hard to imagine. Thank you for watching Topics on Trend. Go ahead and check out another trending video on our channel here, like subscribe, comment, and share.